Now I did it. I've done it.
Do it.
Yes.
Do it.
We are now live, we can go whenever you guys feel like it.
Do it.
My veins are blue and connected, and every single bone in my brain is electric. But I need just like a master of them. No trouble with that. Come on with my dad, yes, so. Come on with my dad, yes, so. Hang on, you ain't got a sound. There's newer plans for me, but she never helps me out with the scams for free, though. She got the sick and she posted at me. When I say nothing, I say everything. When I say nothing, I say everything. They put me down in a lazaretto. A bold rock, making models of people I used to know. How to copy and got. And all my illegitimate kids have begotten. Throwing down to the wolves, they fell for nothing. Quarantine on the Isle of Man, and I'm trying to escape any way that I can. Oh, any way that I can. Oh, I have no time. Time is lost, no time at all. Throw it in a garbage can, and I take our hand. I jump up and let her know where I am. This is how I'm gonna do it. Break it down.
You know, sometimes when you just live your life quietly, doing all the things you think are right, you know, people just pay you no mind. They don't think of you at all. But then every once in a while you do something that's not like everybody else is doing. Maybe you're going to do something a little different. Maybe you're going to go take your own path, you know, one the guidance counselor maybe you didn't think of, you know.
Free as a bird.
Maybe I'm going to do something that's a little bit outside of the box that you keep trying to shove me into. Now all of a sudden everybody's taking notice. Now all of a sudden everybody seems to care. It seems like they want to put me down in the lazaretto, Michael. They think I'm cuco loco.
Let's cucaracha.
Let's talk about it. And lots of other things tonight. We got 3 great comics and podcasters here.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh off of a show at a brewery that thinks I'm way too dirty to perform.
Delicious beer, though.
Yeah, they do have good beer. But there's only one way to talk to these people, Michael.
How's that, Peter?
We do a thing here called theme song. Welcome everybody to Live from the Dutch Hall.
Yeah.
We are Canada's only late night talk show and the greatest podcast ever to come out of a pool shed in Pine Grove, Ontario. Bar none, people. And I believe we are that way because we have the greatest band in Canadian late night history, the Nocturnal Emissions. Come on, people, let's give them a round of applause. This week they're comprised of the super group that is Michael Bowe, our band leader on rhythm and background vocals tonight. Beside him, Sans Cockhat. It's the Rooster, the man that writes the music for some of the show. Dave the Rooster Shutters, everyone.
Hello, people.
Beside him on lead, you might recognize him as being an ancestor of those who have brutally murdered someone for no reason at all. It's Steve the Reluctant German, everyone. And beside him, hanging low, Oh, the balls of the Nocturnal Emissions. Whiskey Wes Higgins, everyone. And who's that playing percussions? That is our CRTC required Frenchman, the French tickler, Kev Belanger is here. And our guests tonight, 3 comics, podcasters, human beings. They have moving parts and blood running through their veins. Dave Smith Hayes, everyone.
What's up, everybody?
Ryan Sim. And back in the Dutch Hall, you might recognize him from he's the guy with no microphone the last time, Bret Measor, everyone. Let's hear what he has to say.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
And who is this guy talking, you might ask, people at home?
I know who it is.
Yeah, I'm the host of this show.
It's the host of the show. Two-time President's Club Award winner. You know him and love him, Mr. Pete Van Dyke.
Hey!
Peter.
Hey, that's how you open a show, everyone. That's how you open a show.
I think our microphones are on.
Yeah.
No, I think they're on now.
Oh, they're on now.
Yeah,
Oh, it's got a buzz in the room, and I like it. Okay?
The band was rocking.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Feels good. Feels good, everyone. Welcome to Live from the Dutch Hall. We're back again.
Yeah.
We have a full house tonight, full of guests.
That was me.
What did you do, Steve? Did you say apologize to my sister?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Would
Did you-
wave away?
I opened a beer and hit the pickup and it made a clunking thing.
Oh, I thought you belched into the microphone.
That wasn't me.
It looked like
There's
it.
one.
Oh, say my
was all me.
sorry to Lori.
Oh, sorry, Lori.
Lori,
Sorry,
love
Lori.
you, Lori.
That's a
Sorry.
tradition of the show. It has to be held true. If you're going to do that disgusting stuff, you must apologize to my sister, Lori.
All right, sorry, Lori. I'm gonna do it a lot tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a heads up.
Now, Michael,
Hello.
I tell you, last week's show, I don't know, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. This is kind of a feedback type thing. But last week's show, I garnered a lot of excitement.
Ball's rolling.
And I tell you, it's about your crop. Your crop's
Oh,
created
really?
a buzz. Your crop has created a buzz.
Whoa, wooey, wowie, wooey.
Who knew that so many people love tobacco? They love it. It has just set the community on fire.
'Cause it's a
It's like
beautiful
it's
thing.
back where it should be. Tobacco talk on the radio. Let's talk plant positioning. This stuff's good for everybody, and it turns out people love it.
Yep.
They love plant positioning. You know, if we could only have something for the rest of them, eh, Steve? Like you?
That's right.
Yeah. Steve does not have any interest in plant positioning.
It's just so easy.
Yeah, he thinks farming is just a joke, just easy. People send your letters and come with your pitchforks one night just to my place and club Steve when he's leaving.
Yep. I'm going to bring Steve out during harvest right about late September when
Yeah.
the real push is on before the frost. And we'll see how easy things are going then.
Yeah. You know what's great about Steve is that if we can keep him holding his ground as he has on this bit about him thinking farmers have it easy, then Steve can become a real heel, like in the wrestling terms.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like he can be like a real bad guy in the farming communities. And we go try playing shows in small towns, Steve will be known as the farmer hater.
That's right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so some people will be coming because they love the music of the Nocturnal Emissions, but some people will be coming because they hate Steve.
Want to throw stones at Steve.
Yeah.
Ouch.
They'll have signs.
Ouch.
Either way, they buy a ticket,
Fuck you, Steve.
Boo.
right?
Steve.
And the only person that gets hurt in this whole thing is Steve.
Aw,
So it's a
Perfect.
win-win-win and somewhat loose for Steve.
it's a bit of a loss for me. Now, you know,
But hey, Steve, you're at the gigs, aren't you?
it's true.
You wouldn't have got it if you didn't hate the farmers and they weren't coming to throw stones at you. So you still
go.
get to play guitar, so shut your mouth.
Woo! Although,
No, just kidding.
To be fair,
Although-
he doesn't hate the farmers.
I
He
don't
just
hate
thinks
the
their job
farmers.
is easy.
No, okay, yes, I apologize. I was
enough,
saying where
fair
the next steps would go.
Yes.
Eventually, he's going to start hating them once they start taking exception to that first statement and start throwing stones at him. I think his opinion's going to get worse of them, don't you think? It's not going to. It's not going to get better.
That's phase 2.
Phase 2, he will definitely hate them.
I love you,
It's currently.
but you're easy.
You're easy.
Oh man.
Farmers
Set
are
the table.
easy.
Set the table.
You know, we were talking about this, and this kind of goes with our theme tonight. The theme tonight is who or what do you want to do and why aren't you doing it? That's the theme of it. I think it's a real catchy thing. It's going to be like Quit Your Job, the #1 rated Live from the Dutch Hall episode ever, Quit Your Job.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, yeah, but this has the potential. But it depends if these guys are duds or not.
See.
There's two
no
there's two
pressure.
first timers,
No
and last time Mike was cut off completely.
Yep.
I thought he was giving good information. Hey, Brett,
What's up?
you were actually the fodder the last time, or not even last time you were on the show, but someone else was on the show, and they were mentioning you on my program.
I know.
And this is your first time back since
Yep. Since then.
those
yeah.
words were spoken.
Yep.
So you will definitely have a chance to defend yourself should you want it, Brett.
What did they say?
Well, they said, I don't know. It was a long time
It
ago.
was
but
a long time ago.
But you know what the funny part was? The criticism of the criticism of Brett's act was actually of my jokes. That's what the funny part is. If you listen back, I'm like,
Yeah.
they're actually saying the point is about Brett. The point about comedy was about Brett, but the joke that they were using as the example was my joke. You know, so it's like it was really
It was weird.
it was really an insult to me more than you. I really took it as that.
Yeah,
way.
because you took a Brett joke. Ugh.
No, it's his joke.
No, they were criticizing the joke.
Yeah.
But they thought it was Brett because sometimes you're at a show, you're in the back, you don't know who's on stage. Just hear the joke
Yeah.
because you're thinking of your act coming up, and then all of a sudden you're like you're just getting disgusted by the show because it's like a shitty act after another shitty act.
Yeah,
And
that was a shitty night. I learned a lot from that night. I
Hey,
did.
the first time we played New Limburg, just to say, this is where these guys played tonight, and I have no reason to give these guys a plug because they don't sponsor our show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say it, New Limburg, they're out there. I'm not going to be hide about it, but one time we headlined there. Remember, fellas?
Yep.
Sure do.
Oh, yeah.
Pete
What a
Van
great
Dyke
night.
headlined, and the Nocturnal Emissions came. We did 2 bits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
2 bits.
2 musical numbers.
Closed with Eduardo. It was well received. The very first show they ever had, comedy show there at New
All
Limburg.
right.
And we headlined, and they liked me quite a bit.
The crowd
Right?
was singing.
Yes.
That's right.
The next show was the one that we did, right?
Yes.
And they and I hosted,
Yep.
and the fella that booked the show came up with a lineup, and I decided to not use my better judgment and alter the lineup. I decided just to let it go.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting paid $15, right, to do that gig.
Yep.
Oh, I was promised 25, but I got paid 15 for this this headache.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go there, and then I get. And I'm not bitching. I'm saying this is the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm just telling because a lot of people go to these shows. They think it's like we're like living a life of luxury or
Not at all.
fame and
Not at
fortune or
all.
something like that. Jesus
Your
Christ.
pockets aren't getting lined.
No.
No.
Not at
The
all.
people we aspire to be in comedy
Yeah.
are broke. Like there's no like the people we respect the most
Yeah.
would be the ones that are actually the poorest. That's the sad truth about art is that the
Yeah.
system for artists is broken. Is broken.
Yeah, that show too. Like everyone talked about their dicks, and it just killed the room. Like
Yeah. It was dirty.
That's why the room is no longer a dirty room. It's because of that show.
Yeah, because that show.
Yeah.
And this is what I did. And I went in there afterwards and said, I can't control who goes up. And a lot of those comics, they had 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We gave them 5 minutes. They used their 5 minutes. They didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "You're the host of the show. How come you went so dirty?" And I was like, "Oh, well, that's a good point."
Yeah.
I go, well,
Checkmate.
but this was my theory was that I thought like the one comic walked a table.
Yeah.
Right? And when they walked the table, they were saying they're leaving because the show's too dirty. And then when I went up afterwards and I thought I'd check, see where the room was. I was going to test the temperature of the room. So
Yeah.
I told another dirty joke saying, now we got those tight ass people gone. We can have fun again, And then I told a squirting joke I was working on.
Yes.
And it was not well received.
Yeah.
And it was the show went even worse. And then the comics at the end saved it because they knew to change gears,
Yeah.
But by that time, I was like you were, I think, the one that you and Mitchell or whatever. Like when it started, the wave started to change. But and then I stopped. Then I stopped too. Like I wasn't dirty at that point on. I just kind of introduced the next act and everything brought it around. But they saw me because I was the last one that did the dirty joke to say, okay, the room's dead. They don't like that shit anymore. I'd made a mistake. That's all.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with my set that night either. Like, and the thing is, you did the squirting joke. So if no one knows this, but prior to that, you were at Poacher's Arms.
Yeah.
And you were ahead of me, and you did the squirting joke, and
Yeah.
then I did my masturbation joke after you. Remember?
Yeah.
Where it's the one where I'm masturbating with a shower head, learning how to masturbate for the first time.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
and I did that joke after you, and it worked. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So then weeks go by, and then you did that joke. And I'm like, oh, I'm on next. I'm going to do my squirting, like me masturbating with the shower head.
Oh yeah, no, that's a different one. That's
And that's where I think a lot of the confusion came from. Was there's
Yeah.
a little similarity there.
I think that was my first time jerking off story.
Just high level
Yeah. To be
comedy
honest.
sounds like.
But from
We're
then,
digging
Real
into the depths of
sophisticated.
humanity. You
from
know?
then, I've actually like really cleaned up since then. I learned so much from that.
These are the
It's like-
smartest guys I know.
Just so
more-
you know, Pete, your legacy precedes you, and it is currently still a clean room.
Yeah.
Yes.
So fuck you.
And I haven't been back. I haven't been back since it made it a clean room.
They said today, like they were talking about doing it outside, and they're like, it has to be clean.
Has to be clean if we're
There's
outside.
like kids with pools around and stuff, so we can't have any swear words and stuff. So
Yeah.
we've toasted that room. It'll never
I
be-
mentioned you, and he's like, I know Pete Van Dyke.
Yeah.
That man is dirty. That's my Dutch accent.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
he
good.
doesn't like you, Pete.
No, but you know what? He's a
Nay,
good
nay,
guy.
nay, 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 nay,
No?
nay.
And then dicks fell out of your notebook.
Oh yeah, that was not good.
That was-
I'll tell you. Well, let's get on with the show. Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, yeah, this is the time in the show that. You know what? Does anyone kind of have an idea when we started this thing?
10-inch?
No, I don't think
10,
Good guess,
20.
Steve.
I'd say
Throw
10:30.
it out there, eh?
so. Okay, around
Somewhere in that
10:20. All right, but it is the time that we do this little segment we call feedback.
Sweet.
We got feedback.
We got feedback. Feedback! It's motherfucking feedback. It's motherfucking feedback. Feedback.
You know, welcome to feedback. We got feedback. You know, I always like to plug our sponsors during feedback. We got feedback.
Why wouldn't you?
But you know what I'm going to start with today? Plugging ourselves. Plugging ourselves, motherfuckers.
Oh, let me take my
Because-
pants off.
You know what? We got 3 guests here. These guys have. You're going to plug yourself that way, Dave? Put
Sorry,
your pants
I was
back on.
confused.
Hey, you know what?
This
Let's
is a
see
video
it.
show now, Dave. It's a video show. It's on YouTube Live. There's children watching that.
on,
Oh,
Whoops.
is that a guitar pick?
That'll work. That'll do.
I never thought of it. It looked like it would be sharp.
Rib for pleasure.
Might leave a paper cut of some sort.
Slot it in there.
Just stop using it, man. Just stop.
Are you spinning it now? Is that your move?
It's his lucky nickel.
That's the lucky nickel. He's got a dirty beaver. Hey, so that's where I'm on the Rub-a-Dub pub tour with Doug
right.
Koning.
Go.
2 locations so far, but if you'd like to book us, you know you can find us. You go to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com, or you can go to any of our social media shit at Dutch Hall or Live from the Dutch Hall on all those things. And you can get a hold of me somehow. If you can't, you're just not paying attention. There's just so many ways to get a hold of me.
Try harder.
And then we can do stuff. And then you can use us as your like dancing monkeys to then make money for charity, or maybe to just have a night of jocularity with your compadres.
Delightful.
Yeah,
Love that guy, Doug Koning. Shout out.
yeah. So Doug and I are
funny guy.
are with headliner Tig Wright in London on I think it's July the 23rd. Poacher's Arms.
We're in August, dog.
Oh, we're in August, aren't we? August the 23rd. August.
You can
the
try
23rd.
though. You can still try for July.
Yeah, no, thank you, people. I think it's July. It's a Thursday, whatever that one is, around the 23rd. And I also have Swazies, which is a Friday in Waterford,
Swaz?
Ontario, on the 31st.
Great venue.
With
Great
Jason
chicken wing
Allen
night.
will be there as the
Another great Hamilton comic. Another great.
another great Hamilton comic, and another guy that I started out with at Poacher's Arms. And Brett, you took a tour at Poacher's Arms.
Yes, I did.
Now, Poacher's Arms, it should be noted to me, Poacher's Arms, as far as London comedy goes, since I've been doing comedy, Poacher's Arms has been like a safe haven. Like it's been like a real breeding ground
Yeah.
for like people to be able to work on whatever they want to work on.
Yeah.
And-
you can say anything there.
Anything. And when people talk in this day and age about safe rooms and bullshit like that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that's a real safe room because you can say horrible shit.
Yeah, you can say anything.
And nobody's like, I've heard some of the worst stuff in my life there, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not comedy. But I'm like, at least I got the right to say it, you know?
yeah, but I've seen people walk. People
yeah.
will get walked all the time.
Oh,
But,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can say anything there.
But most of those people on the not the pro shows, but on the open mic nights, a lot of those people don't know they're there for a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those ones are usually surprised sometimes.
Those are
Some
the
of them
best-
don't
those
even
the
know where
best
they
nights.
are.
One time I was there and we were trying to do our open mic night, which is every fucking week, and there's a bunch of people playing like Magic the Gathering
Yeah.
or something.
At a pub? Like just
Yeah.
hang. Like
Yeah, at a
I
pub.
play it, but I play it at a game shop, like a regular human being.
Well, I don't know if there is game shops everywhere.
True.
But they were. Anyways, they played it at the bar, and they told us as comics to quiet down, please.
Yeah.
And I say, we not only did we bought a microphone and an amplifier
Yeah.
in order that our voices can be heard by people.
Wait,
That's different.
People
It's-
playing
I think-
Magic
Go ahead.
Gathering told you to be quiet.
Be quiet.
That's like a virgin telling you your stroke game's off. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like. It's like I'm trying to do the analogy now. Let's work on a bet.
They're
Oh, that's
losers.
inner dialogue. It's
See,
coming
now you're
out.
thinking.
Talk it through, Peter.
Talk it.
Talk it through. I do want to say
Really
that
fucking nuts.
I think the Poacher's Arm is probably the best open mic in Ontario for a Monday.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth the drive. Just do it.
It's a lot of
worth it.
qualifiers. A lot of qualifiers there.
There's no better open mic than that one. On a
On a
Monday.
Monday.
On a Monday.
Where do you want to go get stabbed with a pick and shovel? Huh?
Yeah, oh, man,
We've seen some fights go
man.
down.
Nice plug.
I've seen some people lose teeth with a pick and shovel.
Yeah, that's
It's the only bar where you. I've seen people lose teeth. Like, you go in, you can't go 26 weeks in a row. You lose all your teeth.
Yeah, you can't do it.
There was like police reports and everything. Like it was.
Hey, we don't
it was
talk about
legit.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know it's a real deal. I'm telling you, comedy is not. People think it's like you got to have balls to do it.
Yeah, you do.
There's no question about it. Like, I'm always surprised because most of you guys seem like pussies to me. Like when I'm out doing shows. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Maybe these guys.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the manliest group of people or like whatever. But then you start digging into these guys and finding out like these guys are badass. Like they're not afraid of nothing. They'll take the punch. They'll take the knife. They'll
Yeah.
do whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's like they are tough. Well, a lot tougher than you give them credit for.
I relate the
You don't want to
comedy.
fuck with any of those guys.
The comedy scene's very similar to like the punk rock,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
punk rock music scene. I think
You mean
that's the vibe that I get from
It's very
most
punk rock
comedians.
and
Yeah, like you
and
guys just
philosophy,
have that
too.
energy. You're able to fucking knock off people's shit. Like you know, doesn't really matter.
Sometimes I
What
feel like I'm
people
doing
say.
punk rock for like an old folks home, you know? Like people that don't want punk rock at all. They would like something else,
That
please.
sounds like punk rock.
Yeah, like give me Sinatra because we don't want whatever you're doing. We don't want that.
If you want a tour of the worst bars in Ontario, do comedy.
Just follow
Yeah.
comedy
I've
nights.
never not wanted to take a shit more than doing comedy. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think it's better to hold it in. Like, I don't. That toilet looks like it's been to Vietnam. You know.
Oh yeah. I'm always a no touch policy at any of my shows. Like I want to pee before I go,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure I'm like definitely got like a no touch
Yeah.
any of the things.
Yeah,
and,
stripper rules. When you do comedy,
yeah.
stripper rules.
Yeah, definitely. You're not in the cleanest of places, though. There's a lot of places, I tell you the truth, I don't think I would ever have gone to in my life
Yeah.
unless it was to do a show
Yeah.
there for free.
Yeah.
Like,
We drive for $5 and it's free.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid of us.
oh man, I would have to drive at least an hour for every show I did.
Yeah.
And I would go do it 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
And I would drive at least an hour to do 5 nights a week to people who didn't want to watch me.
Oh my god.
And
So true. It's
that's
so
how you learn how to be a comic.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
It's the only way to do
It's
it.
the only way to do it. You can tell people like, oh, you can sit at home and write. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, then you might like that's masturbation.
Mm-hmm.
If you like getting yourself off with your own jokes, then just don't perform. Right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you're giving it to people that all think differently than you, then it's a totally different game because now you're gonna have to read so many things at the same time and change gears and
Yeah.
there's it's so much different, so many levels that
Yeah.
you get when you perform it than when you write it. You know, it's a different thing altogether.
It's always you versus them.
Yeah,
That's the way I
yeah.
always look at it.
Yeah, it is.
Just hopefully you have the right combination of words that will work, you know?
That's
That's all
what-
it is.
That's why I'm excited since I passed my kidney stone.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, after I went through that pain and they're telling me there's no way you're going to pass it, it's too big. And I'm like, I already fucking passed it, man. It's huge. I still got it. I can show you after.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I do want to see
It's
it.
huge,
I want
man.
to. I'm very invested.
I thought I had a kidney stone, but I didn't know it, and I thought I had the worst STD in the world because it hurt when I peed.
Yeah.
Oh.
I still remember being young and someone had
Did you pass it?
In the hospital waiting.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, "What is wrong with my dick?" Because I shot it out in the waiting room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a kid in high school who like took like 3 weeks off because he had the kidney stone. So we all thought he had like AIDS. And then he came back. He's like, "We have kidney stones." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna start drinking a lot of water now because that's the way to get rid of it,
Yeah,
or
that's
keep
why-
it low, right? It's just
Is it?
water. Yeah, it's all about the water.
Was yours all jagged and shit?
Oh, it's like a meteor from space.
Apparently, that's the closest we can come to having children. So, holy fuck,
We did
good
the
on you.
we did the math, and now the thing is, we did the math with who was it?
It was
my
this
wife and
weekend
I
at my
were
place.
at your place with my cousin, with Dave's wife. Dave's wife was like, "We should measure your urethra, right?"
Yeah, the circumference.
Oh, this
And
is
then the
good.
circumference of
She
your,
wanted to measure the circumference of my urethra and compare it to the circumference of her vagina, right?
Oh,
do you
yeah.
So,
And
so
then
how
do
much easier
a
was
comparative
Yeah.
like study with the stone. And I said, "You're measuring the wrong thing. Don't measure my urethra. That's at the end. You got to measure my uterus, which go from the kidneys to the bladder, and that's only about 3 millimeters. And I had an 8 millimeter by 5 millimeter stone going through a 3 millimeter tube that doesn't go through contractions
Yeah, it
to
doesn't
stretch.
contract, no.
it? So you were still like way below birth, right?
I was like way more than birth.
Oh, that's do you know what it looks like? It looks like a jagged fucking like blood diamond. So
Yeah.
you just piss it out.
You know what a baby's head looks like? You know what a baby's head looks like? A baby's head looks like it's like a sausage that you're squeezing out of a vagina, and eventually, once it pops out, it pops into a head. You know, it doesn't come out like a circle, like a head.
It's like
it
a
comes
balloon.
out
It's squishy.
it's
like a squishy balloon, and that's why they got the soft spot and shit. And then the head, all of a sudden, you're like, "What is that?" At first, it's like a bubble. And I was like, "Why is that bubble coming on my wife?" And then they're like, "That's your kid's head. It's a friggin' bubble." I'm like, "That can't be my kid's head. There's a little hair on the bubble." And then I go, then I said, then all of a sudden, sure as shit, it's the head. And then the shoulders, Chard and I were talking about the shoulders. Like, they're not like you're coming out like a linebacker.
Yeah, yeah.
They're coming out like
Yeah, one
Like a ballerina.
on a
one
slant.
flopped over the other, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, if you think of a baby, it's very much cylindrical compared to my jagged meteor stone.
Couldn't they just cut it out?
Cut it out of your dick?
I don't know.
No, they could. They could, but it was too late. They took too much time fucking around looking for it and stuff.
Yeah. Well, once it gets in the shaft, it's all Pete and I. You know.
Yeah. Once it's in the shaft, it's all up to us. See, like what happens if it's in your uterus, then they have to do a surgery to get it out, or try to break it up. If it falls into your bladder, it feels like you got like an infection. Like you got to piss all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like tickly and stuff. And then all of a sudden it enters your dick, and when it enters your dick, it's just like you have a big, huge rock in your dick.
Well, yeah. When I had it, I was like going through Tinder. Like I gotta figure out who I gotta say I'm sorry to. You know.
Damn.
So when they
You might have rocks in your dick.
hold on.
You gotta be careful.
Rocky vads.
So when you break it up,
Rock
right?
dick.
It's like they shove the hose up the urethra and go up that way, right? Or do they cut you open and kind of try to do it from the outside?
Well, they told me that if it was in my bladder, then they could go in with like a hook out into my dick. You know?
Yeah. That's how
And
they
they
thought
would
to do
just
it.
like fish it out of my bladder.
But
They
if it's
said-
still if it's between your kidneys and your bladder in that little,
I think they got to
3
cut you open for that.
millimeter-
Yeah.
You just gotta get a vacuum in there.
It's
just
like
suck it out.
it's like laparoscopic
vacuum,
though. Like it's a
yeah.
little. They put a little like tiny probe into you now.
Oh god.
It's
Oh,
amazing.
really? So they don't even cut you open. They just like.
Even when they do heart surgery, like they can do a lot of like replacing, put in like stents and stuff like that, and fixing valves with just like a little tiny cut. Like, and they put this little thing in it, and it's like smaller than your vein. It just flows through your vein like a little spaceship or something. It's fucking crazy.
They do it with a joystick.
You know, we live in the country, right? Most of us live in the country here, like in the sticks, and we get shitty healthcare our whole life. Like we get crappy healthcare, and it's like we just get used to it. But then I've been really sick lately, and so they send us to real hospitals, like they handle real sick people, and it's really good here. Like our country's actually got good healthcare.
Last time I
It's
saw
just
you,
they don't give it to us down here. Yeah,
last
These
time I
guys are in
saw you, you were
Southern Ontario.
sick. Last time I saw you, you're like, I lost 30 pounds. I'm sick.
yeah, I am sick.
You should go downtown to the jeweler and get that stone mounted on a ring.
Oh yeah, they want it at the lab. I keep trying to give it to them, and they're like, I don't know. If you don't return my calls, me and Baby Earl have developed a relationship, and we're going on tour together. People want to see it.
You wear it right on the finger.
I did one set where I talked about my kidney stone, and the lady at the bar asked me to see the pictures on my phone. She wanted to see it. It's a
Yeah.
real interest piece.
Make it a necklace, man.
Yeah. I think I should go on tour with the kidney stone.
Yeah.
And Earl.
Yeah, people can get their picture taken with like the Stanley Cup. We have like people pose by it.
Yeah.
Anyways, wheels are in motion. We got things going on.
Yes.
You know, you think that's a joke, and then you realize that I actually do these things. Eh? That we're like, no. I remember that thing about me touring the kidney stones, like the Stanley Cup. No, I got a 14-city tour.
It's a winter tour.
We're actually doing it. Boys, you got to play a song. I wrote a song about the kidney stone, and it's like a love song to my dick stone.
It might get weird when they start booking the stone and not you.
Yeah, exactly. Me and the stone have a real animosity toward each other, jealousy.
It's getting all the good gigs
Yeah.
now.
Next summer,
No, you're just
Doug
the
Koning
manager.
and the stone.
Yeah,
No, he's just the manager
exactly.
at that point. He's the entourage. He's the plus one. He's,
Fucking Doug starts touring with my stone. The stone starts dating my wife.
It's a big
God
stone,
damn it.
baby.
It is big. It's very knobby and shit.
was it bigger? Like was it
Then what?
in his dick? Like was it bigger coming out? Like did it?
Yeah, it's
Was it-
3 millimeter hole, 8 millimeter stone. Ugh.
No, I'm asking like was like so when it was coming out of your dick, did it make your dick bigger for those like moments it was leaving?
Yeah, does it look
Well,
like a
it was
snake
plumped
eating
up.
a deer?
It was plumped up. I'll tell you that. It was plumped up. But the very...
Was it like watching a python eat in reverse?
Yeah.
Was it like
I've told this on the show before, so I apologize to anybody that's hearing this for the second time. But yeah, but the main thing was that I thought was the most alarming was when it was headed down my shaft. There was a point, it felt like something was in there. Like there was something like if you bend over and you put pressure on it, it would like be sharp and like
Right.
jagging into you. So at one point in time, it was in here in the Dutch Hall. I just locked the door and I just pulled my pants down and I pulled my dick head apart. Like I just started taking my pee hole and pulling my pee hole apart so I could just look in there because it felt like it was in my head, you know?
Yeah.
And sure as shit, there it was. I
Yeah.
could see the crown of it, you know?
I had the same thing.
Yeah?
In
It
the
was
hospital bathroom.
fucking...
Tweezers?
I was like, I couldn't believe it. And then I thought, tweezers. Then and one more piss, it got close enough. And I'm like, I can touch it now, like pretty easy. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get the tweezers. And then one more piss, I just got a sieve and just pissed in the sieve and then popped it out.
Can I ask you, did it hurt when you peed, like leading up to it?
No, the peas never really hurt that bad.
Mine must be stuck in the shaft for a while.
Yeah, yeah, it's different for everybody.
Or you
know?
did have a venereal disease.
Maybe I had the combo.
Yeah, maybe it's ripping down like a
both?
ripping down like a pus-filled
Diamond
shaft.
pussy. Ugh.
When was the last time you got tested? Actually,
Often.
I like a nice test. Hey, you go get a nice it's feedback. Hey,
Just a little reminder for you.
thank you, Dave.
feedback.
So those are the gigs. You know what? I'm going to plug these guys' podcasts. Let's do it before we forget. We got David Smith Hayes. David, can you plug your podcast for us, please?
Okay, so I actually do both of their podcasts. So me and Ryan here, we do the other movies. So we watch the sequels to films that we've never seen before, and we review them. And we try to figure out what the fuck's going on. Would we watch the first one? Would we... It's a lot of fun.
How old are the movies that you're watching?
All movies...
Soup to nuts.
As long as we haven't seen the first one, we'll watch the sequel.
Like the last one we did was Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Two.
And we also did Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Which is actually the sixth movie. No, sorry, that's the fifth movie of this franchise.
You guys,
This is like
I want
irrigating life.
let's just. I want to make this introduction. Okay, the people. What's the name of the podcast again?
The other movies.
The other movies. The other movies. This is a future guest of your program right here, Michael Bow.
Yep.
Michael Bow. He does what he grows tobacco. He's a tobacco farmer here in Norfolk County.
Who isn't?
This is one of them. No, the rest of us are not.
Steve.
But he is. And he when he's irrigating, has to watch TV at odd hours of the night. And in the summer, in the irrigation season, he has watched more sequels than any
Always
person
the
I've ever
sequels.
met.
Always the sequel.
Police
Never
Academy
the,
too.
Never the first one.
I would
Come
love,
on in.
Come on in, or give us a suggestion. Like, have you seen one
Major
you're
League
like,
2.
Police Academy too.
You did it?
I've seen Police Academy too, because I used to live by the campus that it was filmed on in Toronto.
We did
you go.
Revenge of the Nerds too.
That's
Oh,
Nerds too.
Yes.
Good one.
That's actually
That's
one of the
classic.
better sequels that we've seen.
Yeah.
So far, the Roger Ebert review, the best one we've had is 1 out of 5.
Gremlins too.
We did
Critters-
Critters
Critters
too.
too.
That's
Oh,
what we
Critters
did.
too.
Yeah, that was our first episode. Was Critters
Anyways, that's
too.
our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
should
yeah,
totally
yeah,
go on.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
I gotta listen to this.
No,
Yeah,
it's
'cause Micah-
it's a lot of fun. Brett showed up on an episode. He showed up on Highlander 2.
That movie sucks.
It's a terrible fucking movie.
Slapshot 2 is a piece of garbage.
we gotta watch
that's
It's on
right.
our queue.
I
We have
I've
a
never
massive
seen
queue.
it out of principle, but I will watch it.
I
Maybe if
forgot about it.
I'm ever on, I'll watch it.
You gotta come on. You know what? If
I'd
you
hate to watch that.
Pete, if you tweet a movie, we'll watch it and we'll do it. So what we do is we talk about the plot, so you don't have to watch it. Then we review it, and we also sometimes have a feature where we do Seconds Please, where we come up with a movie that hasn't been made yet. So we did Ernest Goes to North Korea. We came up with that one.
As a new sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds plays Ernest, and Jim Carrey's Vern. Yeah, it was good. We almost did What's Eating Gilbert Grape's Mom's Foot. Yeah. But plot twist, it's diabetes. I gave it away. Don't worry about it.
It's a terrible plot twist because she dies in the movie.
Yeah.
She's already dead.
What about Forrest Gump in
Okay,
space?
shut up. We're going to talk about Brett's podcast now.
Great segue.
Because
That's good. I like it.
I am the producer. I'm producer Dave. So Brett's podcast is called You Don't Know Me Yet.
Yeah.
He comes to my house once a week. I film him talking about his adventures as a stand-up comedian. Brett, take it away.
Yeah, the whole podcast or the show is just really about my week of becoming a comedian, right? Like it's just like what I do, where I go, and just talk about that stuff.
A look behind the curtain of what it's like
Yeah.
to grind on.
Just to be an amateur comedian, and if I can ever become a pro, like it's just like let's see the whole process kind of thing. So I just talk about the shows I'm on. I'd never say anyone's name or anything like that. It's just about like what I do and what challenges and stuff that happen, just things like that.
Yeah,
And
I name drop more than he does on
Yeah.
the show.
I don't really name drop, and I talk about some of the shows I'm on. Like I'll mention this that I've been on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's just about spreading the web, you know, like about, and I think that's how it has to work. There has to be more collective participation of the people in our community in order to do great things.
Well, that's what everybody in LA is doing, right? If you watch all their stuff, like everyone's does the round in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like they're all on everyone else's podcast, so
Excuse me.
that's kind of what we have to be doing too.
Yeah, well, we're
Laurie.
in the process right now doing some pretty exciting stuff down here, and we want.
You're too far away.
Where are we? Corner? What?
No, but I think it's
Pine Grove?
that's what it's like. It's
We're
like
in Delhi, right? That's where we are?
Yeah,
Yes.
just outside of Delhi.
Okay.
And but I'll tell you, if you know how tough it is to do something that's a little bit creative, and to do it and try to live a reasonable life is even harder. Where the cost of living down here compared to anywhere up there is ridiculously lower. Like ridiculously lower.
I bought a house off Barton Street, and it probably costs more than up here.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I'm. It's not even remotely close. What you can still accomplish here is like going back in time when you used to be able to make money
Yeah.
because things were cheap enough that you could. That's what it's like here. In the cities, it doesn't make sense anymore. There's no model that's going to let you succeed. It's just a model that's going to make you keep like running in that same rut. That they just keep you at the level where you continue to be like desperate and do stuff that you would hate just in order to pay the bills, you know. And that's why I think it'd be better just to change that model
Yeah.
and see if we can make a model where you can make it reasonable for people that are making something new, like they can actually make a living and make good art that's not compromised to serve corporate interest and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Totally get that.
And so that's what I think. The Live from the Dutch Hall should pioneer. Why not do that?
Yeah.
It's not a. You're thinking if you're going to make a goal for yourself, you might as well change the world. You know, it seems like you might as well make it a good one.
Why not?
Might as well.
Just shoot for the stars, right?
That's
Or
right.
shoot for the moon. That's what you do. And then you land amongst the stars.
That's right.
That's what.
Yeah, it's still pretty fucking good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all
that's what I
good.
say.
You're still shooting.
So, for feedback this week, let's whisk through these sponsors. Amazon, you know what you do. You go to Live from the Dutch Hall's website, you click on our Amazon banners, you do your Amazon shopping, and some of that money comes and helps the show. And we put all that into stuff to make the show better, and it's worked really good. Show's gotten better. Like, if you don't think so, then you're probably not listening right now. Right? And who else we got? We got Norpac.
The beef people.
Oh, yes. I didn't know who's going to
I
do
didn't
it.
know who it was either.
Norpac.
The beef people.
Yeah, it's summertime. If you want to put a steak on the fire, maybe you think about Norpac.
The beef people.
That's all there is to it. And Van Dyke Party Services.
Don't live your life in regret.
I really regret to inform the Van Dyke Party Services, we got a requested gig.
Whoa.
And it just wasn't enough time to pull it off. just wasn't enough time to pull it off. I feel like we've let people down.
That is a letdown.
But I really feel like I've let people down, Michael, on Van Dyke Party Service, because you know what? Most people's lives are really suck. And what they need is between 5 and 29 Van Dyke first cousins to come to their function in bright yellow jackets.
Liven it up.
And liven it up for them, because their lives are terrible and our lives are really fun. So why don't we do, like, all it's going to cost you, $100 of cold hard cash plus all of our expenses, which will be extremely dear. But if you're not 100% satisfied, that $100 comes right back to you. With those expenses, they've run through our bodies and potentially yours. Van Dyke Party Services.
Do not live your life in regret.
Brought to you by our good friends at Clean Flow.
Clean Flow.
Clean Flow. Shout out. You're the best.
Woo.
Big up.
Big up, Matty-O. And last but not least, Yarmy Electric. You know what? I got some things I need Yarmy Electric for in the fall. If you motherfuckers call him one time, and therefore I can't fulfill my dreams because Yarmy Electric's not doing the work I need in order to accomplish my goals this fall, then you haven't listened to my show. You don't respect what I do. My cousin's phone better not fucking ring for the next 3 months.
That's right, he's
with
busy.
any of you fucking listeners. I swear to God, he does not want your business.
It's harvest time.
Yarmy Electric, if we don't get it right the first time, we'll get it right the second time. If we don't get it right the second time,
You can go fuck yourself.
brought to you by Clean Flow. All right, we got all the things out. Now, let's go. We're going to run through feedback. These are the people that love Tobacco Talk. Alistepa Jones.
Yeah, Ella Steppa.
She could listen to Tobacco Talk all day long, is what she said.
Come on down.
You know who else left Tobacco Talk? Kyle Van Dyke.
No way.
Very impressed with my knowledge of plant positioning. You know why? Because it's fantastic. I have good knowledge of plant positioning.
Sure do, Peter.
You want to say otherwise? I got exception with that. Punch you right in the nose.
Or the teeth.
Yeah, or the teeth. That's a good point, Mike.
Depends how tall you are.
And who else? Let's go with...
Perhaps the Adam apple.
There's a lot of people that like the old Tobacco Talk. But you know who else? Like Julie Franklin said it was the best show ever. Julie Franklin said the best show ever.
Really?
That just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we threw a lot of sunshine her way. It's because she is my favorite cousin.
Number one cousin. You know what I like about that? You on that show, you said every morning when you wake up, you rank your cousins.
Yes.
Every morning.
Every morning I wake up.
You wake up.
Brush my teeth, rank my cousins, go to work.
So who's winning today?
Huh? Julie Franklin.
Number one.
Julie. Who's going to upset
Is
Julie
she-
Franklin?
is
Have you
she-
met her before?
Is she regularly number one?
Yes.
Always number one.
Nice.
Julie Franklin's
Julie.
a part. She's the best.
Shout out
who's,
to Julie.
You ever drank whiskey shots with Julie Franklin at a Van Dyke wedding? You haven't lived, sir.
Well, then invite
You
me.
haven't lived.
Invite me out.
Who's number two
Oh, today.
today? Dude, number two today.
Today. Yeah,
Who's chasing her? Who's chasing her?
You know, today I'm gonna give it to old Michael.
Yeah. You gotta catch up.
Michael, you know you were always in the top 5 recently.
Thank
Because you want to know why? The greatest pleasure of my life is driving past your crop this year.
It's all about that plant position.
Still working.
And if you didn't have such a beautiful crop of tobacco, you'd be in the muck and the mire with schlubs. With schlubs like let's name some cousins down the middle. Let's name some cousins down the middle. I'm ready to do it. Who's down there? I'm gonna say who's down in the muck and the mire. Give me a position, Dave, and I'll tell you which cousin's there.
17.
Ooh, man. That's a girl. I want to go with a boy. So
Oh, okay. Sorry.
let's go 16.
All right.
How about 16?
Sweet 16.
16. Who's 16? I got to think about this for a minute.
Stop.
16.
Didn't you put this together this morning?
Oh, shit. I know. Every morning is different, though. You know?
It's been a long day.
Who's really a 16 for me? This is weird. I got 29 cousins. I got to rank them all.
You're holding a match to the bridge right now.
Yeah. Ooh.
Let's check your whiteboard.
Wait, are they
inside.
all Van Dykes? Or are they
Sorry,
all
Jeffrey.
Just like,
Sorry, Jeffrey.
Oh,
Boom.
I don't know who
16.
it is.
Jeffrey, you know what? And Jeffrey, some weeks has been solidly in the top 10.
I would
when
say-
he's sitting in the Dutch Hall, especially. Great fan of the show and a supporter. But, however, today, 16. Haven't seen him in a while. Don't give a shit about him.
Van Dyke Hockey Weekend, Jeffrey? top 5 easy.
Oh, I loved him that weekend. He was right up there. He was one of the highlights of the trip.
I'd say number 1 for me.
But just haven't seen him in a bit.
Just dropping down.
So we still love Julie, right?
Yeah,
Julie's the
number
best.
one.
Okay.
That's a hard one to beat.
Hey, bartender, can we get some beers on here?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll
Who-
get you some beers. What
Who
do
am
you
I
want?
apologizing to when I burp again?
Lori.
Lori. Shout out to Lori. I burped a bunch when these guys were playing.
Rhymes
I
with
like how
stories, so-
you bank them up and you still get the apologies out because
Well,
that's what you need to do.
I'm a small town guy. I
Even
get how it
Steven.
goes.
Yeah, even Steven now. with
What's
Lori.
your small town?
Yeah, what's your
It's
town?
called South River.
Where's that?
Do you know where North Bay is?
Yeah.
It's about half an hour south on the 11.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you grow up on a farm?
No, I was a townie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
All beef farms
Thank
up
you.
there.
no, it's actually a lot of lumber, not a lot of farming. Dairy farms, not beef, but like dairy.
Dairy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pulling tits, eh?
Yeah, a lot of tit pulling, a lot of tree cutting.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Tits
Beautiful
and
country
trees.
up
I
there.
think that's why I'm not a tit guy. It's because I've seen so many tits. being-
That's not how that works. I think.
Yeah, you ever been in Oxford County? Like Kevin Blange's from Oxford County. You know what? You know what the worst part about dating an Oxford County girl is?
Was that?
She's your cousin?
No, getting a taste of iodine out of your mouth when you suck her tits. Hey,
A lot of milkers.
hey, is that a good joke, Michael?
Iodine.
Mike's marrying a girl from Oxford County too. Hey, right?
Must be tasty.
It's salty and delicious.
It's got a taste for the iodine.
Yeah.
I do, apparently. I like it a lot.
I really
Dairy
hope.
farmers
like
would
it a
enjoy
lot.
that joke, right?
They would. Because
they-
it's true.
Because it's
It's the
true.
iodine.
It's true. It's got to be a true joke.
Yeah. You know, if
That's
you're gonna
like
suck
saying
a
a
tit,
guy-
you want it to be clean. You dip it, give it a dip.
Yeah, that's like saying.
I'll pull out one of the dippers from the barn.
That's right.
Give it an old teat dip. We're going to bed, Marge. You know, get the teat dip. Sometimes you're like, hey, I might get some oral pleasure. The dairy farmer might decide maybe he's going to put his dick in the teat dipper.
That's right.
Give it a little, come out with an orange dick.
Keep it safe.
Hey, if you're from Oxford County and you're milking cows, just give us an email at livefromthedutchhell@gmail.com and tell us if you put your dick in a teat dipper.
Ever.
What? What did I miss?
Why would you? First off,
I took a pee.
why would you not try that? I want to know. I want to know who's not trying that.
Well, it turns out iodine tastes terrible.
I'm sure.
no,
that-
I'm saying sticking your dick in the tipper. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like-
it seems the right size.
It seems like it'd be a good time.
It looks like a country.
It just
Yeah,
sucks.
it's like a country
It's like a-
fleshlight.
country fleshlight, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
I bet you there is some dairy farmers out there who have fucked a teat dipper.
Oh, I don't doubt this at all.
Oh my God, we might have stumbled onto something.
Yo, this is a whole new fetish.
Freaky
man.
farmers.
Yeah, we might have really hit on something good here.
We're onto something, guys.
Hey, you know what? This can just be one of these Dutch Hall facts. Let's say this. 85% of all dairy farmers have fucked a teat dipper at some point in their life.
Starting here.
I believe it.
You heard
What?
it here, folks.
I believe it.
Spread it out, put it on the internet.
Is that a cow?
It's a fact.
He's not
I
from- where-
I'll
You
ask
know what a
all
teat
my
dipper
dairy
is?
farmer friends.
You don't know. You don't.
Yeah.
Nah.
What small country are you from?
He's from a small town, he
he's
says,
from a
of
small
20,000 people.
Where are you from?
Uxbridge, Ontario.
Uxbridge.
That's near Port Perry.
Small
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
Small town.
But
Yeah.
what's a teat?
I give it credit for being small.
What's a teat
but
farm?
not like yours. No, a teat farmer?
Yeah.
So he said? No, a teat dipper.
Teat dipper.
It's
yeah.
like a dairy farmer who milks a cow.
Yeah.
Before they were to like put it into the like suction cups that are gonna like pump into the tank that
Yeah.
you're gonna drink, they would like want to make sure like all the shit that's hanging out on the cow's teat
Oh, they've been laying
has
in
been
their
washed off.
Been laying in their beds.
Sometimes the cow just likes to take a nice sloppy diarrhea shit because it's been eating hay and corn all day, and then just shits all over its own tits. And then is like, before you go put
So
that
true.
milk into the tank to sell to people to drink, they like to clean it up a bit. So they they want to make sure it's sterile.
That's right.
So they take this thing where they put the teat, like the nipple that comes down.
Yeah.
That you pull on. You stick that into this like rubber hole, and then and you dip it into iodine to sterilize it.
Ah.
And so, like Michael said, he thinks most of the people he knows from Oxford County have probably stuck their dick in that once or twice when they're
That's
horny.
Whispers there.
That sounds good. It sounds like nature's fleshlight.
I don't see why you wouldn't
That
try
was the
it.
joke
I
you walked in
can
on.
I can imagine a couple of
that was-
Dutch guys up from Innerkip Way. that maybe there had a bunch of orange dicks once in a while when they were 11, 12 years old.
They got caught with the orange dick.
I don't know what happened, says their parents. You know, he's like, we're just. Oh, they never really took an interest in milking the cows before, and then all of a sudden they turned about 13, and now they're out there milking. They want to milk them 4 times a day.
I thought it was some sort of jaundice on your dick.
I don't know why, but they want to milk the cows with their comic books. It's weird.
Yeah.
Super fucking weird.
And anyways, I hope these guys are listening to this one.
Yeah,
I hope they're listening.
I
to
know
this
one that is.
Yeah. I want to see what his take on it is. Please, somebody from Oxford County, tell me if you've ever done it before. You know anyone that's done it before? I'm sure someone's done it, right? What's the most fuckable thing on a tobacco farm? As a young guy growing up on a tobacco farm, what's the most enticing thing to fuck on a tobacco
I was
farm?
just gonna say we're probably not known for being good with our fingers in harvest time with the gum all over it.
Yeah, we're not good fingerers.
No,
You know, tobacco farmer. You don't get fingered by a tobacco farmer in September.
It's a bit sticky.
Yeah, you're gonna get it like
Sticky icky.
your pussy's gonna be a bit yellow for a bit.
A bit of tar.
Nicotine rush.
When I used to go to school in grade 9, because I worked in tobacco, and I went to school in Brantford, which is was a city for me. People didn't know why my hands were all yellow, and it's because when you prime tobacco or you're handling tobacco all summer, like it stains your hands. So you try to wash the tar off, and there's all kinds of tricks you use, like that orange.
Or bleach.
Or
and then
bleach. I used to bleach
yeah.
them, you know, like anything. But then you'd sit in class, you have like these orange hands, and everyone thought you were just like had some disease or something. I'm like, no, I'm just working tobacco. Like around here, no, everybody had orange hand, like the yellow hands in September, so nobody would question it. But
If you didn't have the yellow hands, were they the town pussy?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
around here, yeah.
Like,
Up
what
there,
layer of skin are you on from your hands? You're like, I'm on 3.
yeah,
Possible
exactly.
3 layers.
My wife, like when we started dating, she was working on a tobacco farm. My wife.
She worked on a tobacco farm too?
Oh, yeah, everyone did.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's what we've been seeing. All.
Is that what we saw driving here?
Yep.
Yeah, tobacco.
I was
yeah.
like, what is this?
And Jane used to work on one, and the women would usually wear rubber gloves, like kitchen washer gloves.
Smart.
So they wouldn't ruin their hands. Jane's like, no way, man. I am not doing that. I have an allergic reaction to tobacco, too, which I would even benefit more from those gloves. But I ain't no pussy. I'm going to continue to handle the tobacco with my bare hands until all the skin peels off my hands.
And I get the
And they look like these red, like...
bubbles.
Like it's like
so
it's like from a horror movie. Your hands, like
Oh,
they're just
God.
Yeah.
the skin is all peeled off till they're just red.
It's like in RoboCop when the guy's like dying from the acid.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's
Yeah,
exactly
and she
like
would
that.
do it because she's like balls, man. She's tough as shit.
Can
She's
I
from
ask-
Norfolk County.
So you had tobacco dick?
Would it transfer to your dick?
Yeah,
like, was your dick
were you
orange?
getting your jerk on?
Your
Oh,
hand
shit,
would
we're,
hurt too.
we're Catholic, eh? So at this time we weren't married.
So
We
her
weren't
mouth was
Oh, I
orange?
forgot about the rules.
married. That would mean that she sucked her hand.
That's your tobacco
You're
dick
sucking
from
hands.
They're sucking hands. Yeah, that's all we do.
It's just finger sucking
what?
all night.
What's it like being
I
Catholic?
just got addicted to the nicotine. Oh, you have to wait. You have to.
She was dating you for the cigarettes.
Yeah, she just got addicted to
She
the.
got to the rush, that nicotine rush. I
Yeah,
need
it's a
that
real,
dick
it's a
right
real
now.
perk of priming tobacco and jerking off a lot. Is your dick actually has a calming effect on women?
So relaxed.
Yeah.
Talk about addicting.
Hey, Michael.
You just lay back and have a time.
I wonder if there's anything to that.
I don't know.
I'm going to continue to rub tobacco on my dick. Problem solved.
It's like Vicks Vapor Rub.
Hey, everybody. That's our segment we call feedback. We got feedback. If you'd like to provide us with more of that stuff, go to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com or give us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Quora, fucking whatever.
Wait, you guys are actually on Quora?
I guess.
Nice.
I keep getting
incredible.
emails every 10 seconds about it.
How do you
Quora.
how do you write questions about this show in show format?
I think there's a lot of questions
Are you the
tonight.
Haitian dwarf? Oh, speaking of which, where's my phone? What about the cheese lady?
Oh shit!
Oh, and the Haitian dwarf. Dude, where's my phone? Do you know?
It's not over here.
Fromage lady.
Oh, I can't do it. That one. Let me just see. I'm just gonna see one time here. One time.
Cheese lady.
Nope. I don't have my phone, Dave.
All right.
Which
All right,
Dave?
forget Brett, Cheese Lady, if we missed I know we missed it. I'm sorry. Oh, and I'm just going to end with Bailey. Bailey says, Paul, wow, just wow. I would have once said you were irreplaceable, but now I'm on Team Lori. Fuck you, Paul.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. The gauntlet has been thrown. Bailey Adcock does not like him. Thank you very much for your feedback, everybody. Keep telling your friends and making the show better. Guys, this whole thing is just like an average episode of Live from the Dutch Hall. We have a subject. We're supposed to talk about the subject.
Yep.
And then we do not talk about the subject.
Right.
We talk about everything but that subject. And,
I thought they were supposed to play a song right now.
Oh, what? No. They already did it.
No? Okay.
They did everything right.
All right, you guys can
nailed it
leave. You guys-
tonight.
you guys-
Yeah, no, they actually killed it. But that's a sign of a good show because we had an actually organic conversation and it was really nice to have you guys in.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, let's just touch on it for a second, okay? This was supposed to be our subject for the day is do you guys have like a passion project, something that's like outside of your regular work? Like it's stand up for you, Brett. Is that your regular work now?
No, I still do my game design job.
Yeah. So
But-
you all have gigs outside of what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, but passion project for you would be stand up, right?
100%, yeah.
Yeah. And then what's the end goal for stand up?
I really just want to tour. Like, I just want to be a touring comic.
Be able
That's
to
it.
make a living and
Yeah,
and feed yourself, right?
pretty much. I'll live in a van and tour around. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's a reasonable goal, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you happy.
Oh, yeah.
And other people would say that's not a goal that would make them happy,
No.
but it would make you incredibly happy.
Oh, yeah, I would love it.
And other people would look at that and say something's wrong with Brett.
Yeah.
Because-
He's having a midlife crisis. He wants to go live in a van.
Yeah.
He's almost 40. He wants to live in a van and just tour around and just do comedy.
And that to him is making it.
Yeah,
Living
that's-
in
yeah.
a van
That's
and
making
touring,
it.
that's making it.
Yeah.
You're of no fixed address. I made it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's just something about it. I don't. That's it for me. Is touring and then maybe a Netflix special, whatever. But I want to just tour around. I just want to tour around and just tell jokes to everybody. That's it. Like go to the United Kingdom, Australia, America, all that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, it seems reasonable, right? Just be able to do what you want. Anyways, Ryan, same question. You have a profession. You have a profession as well.
Yeah, I do. I get to explore the Arctic.
Which is already a cool job, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I don't really have big goals. Like I remember this Calvin and Hobbes comic. Calvin's like, "What do you want to wish for?" I would wish for $1 billion and all this. And Hobbes goes, "I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." And at the end, he gets his wish because it's simple. So that's mine. I'm just doing comedy because I like it.
It makes you happy and
Yeah.
feels right.
Like my only end goal right now is maybe get to the point where maybe I could headline some regional shows because I got friends all over Southern Ontario. Like, hey, come on out on a Saturday. Anything over that is gravy.
Yeah.
Sorry to Lori. Sorry, Lori.
Yeah, but that's
Sorry, Lori.
But I think there's a good point to that. You know, like that you set goals that are like that's something you can actually get to, and then you don't. And if it's not based on money, if I said this on the show before, it's not based on money. It's not based on fame. If it's not based on power,
Yeah.
you know, then it's a noble thing, and then you have then there's no reason not to do it, you know. But if it's based on those three things, money, fame, or power, you'll never get enough of it to make yourself happy from that. So your motive has to be something different other than that in order to make yourself. This is like Jerry Springer moment at the end, where they just go like they sum it up. It had nothing to do with anything we talked about all night.
Wait, are we Jerry Springer guests?
Yes.
Because I didn't hear the
We're-
ding ding.
We gotta throw a chair at the end.
Yeah.
It's
Where's
so-
Steve?
it's so
Hold on.
true.
Yeah, Steve. Steve hates farmers.
Steve's fucking right there.
Go get the
I like
pitchfork.
farmers.
Oh, yes.
Just farming's easy. That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I forgot. I also want to be a tobacco
I
farmer.
bet you work in an office.
I don't.
Yeah.
I also
I
want to
do.
be a tobacco
Try it for everybody. Try to guess what everybody does.
Yeah,
See if
go
you can get anyone.
All right, let me.
Okay, I'm gonna go like farmer, not office, but
You
fucking
think what,
office.
you think
Farmer, yeah.
so like Charters let's just go like for the people at home. He said Charters was a farmer. Charters looks like a man that just tied a woman up to a railroad track.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He's,
Right?
No, he's the kind of guy
He's
who
got
like
a curly
grows his,
mustache.
No, he grows his own barley for his own micro beers.
Ah, now we're getting
I was
there.
thinking
now we're
right-
getting
he's
closer. We're getting closer.
He's the town weed man. That's what I'm looking at.
Do you run a coffee shop?
My beeper.
Oh, I like that one. Coffee shop would be a thing for you, Jay.
Yeah.
Dave. No, you want to know what Dave really is?
Yes.
Master of industry.
Wow.
Hey,
What is that?
he's got a job that's like so like good. Like he works at some big huge place where people that like people that make lots of money they go to him for expertise.
Oh, really?
You can't talk about what he does. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's amazing. We don't fuck it up
I don't
for
like
him.
talking about what I do, but Dave, I respect that. And if you're that cool, call me, brother.
No, he's not cool at all. It's a shit job.
It's the opposite.
It's horrible, horribly not cool.
Fuck Dave then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he won't let me talk about anything bad about his job because he doesn't want to lose it because it's that bad. Somehow that makes sense to him.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel your pain. You got a pension?
Yeah.
Yeah. Word up.
That's a trap, man. They gave me my
Not
job.
when you do comedy.
No, it's a trap, man.
Always a trap.
But you got to have a way out, though. If you had you have like your pension because you're young, is it defined contribution or defined benefit?
It's where as inflation goes up, it prorates to inflation.
But is it based on your years and your?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't think they did that anymore. Most people don't anymore. That's a good deal.
They don't, so you could probably figure out where I work from that. So don't.
Yeah.
So don't.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Lori.
You'll be the last to give that up, whoever your employer is. But that's good for you though. That is hard to give up. They make it hard.
That's why I do comedy for a passion, because I love it. But I can't give up my day
I was
job.
going to say, I can't remember his name, but I thought he was a teacher.
Steve?
Yeah.
Steve looks like he
He
directs
looks like
amateur
a
porn.
university. No,
Oh.
university teacher of sorts.
He's actually Tony Stark's partner.
Oh, is this like the new
Robotics.
progressive sequel?
No, it's two white guys. That's not a progressive
It
sequel.
was the first one.
It will be eventually.
Partner. Oh, I thought you meant dating partner.
No, they're like brothers or something. Come on.
No, Steve films horse dicks. So you were really close.
Mr. Hands, I love you.
Can I get in on that?
He's just starting to get into that season where he goes around the countryside. How much of this is true? What percent?
A solid 99%.
Yeah.
Really?
He goes around the countryside and he wants to film studs. Are you filming studs?
I'm filming. I shoot like race horses that
Is this
are
for real?
up for sale.
Yeah.
For actual real.
Oh, wow.
I go around to farms all over Ontario and I shoot these horses. It has nothing to do with
Shoot
their
them
dicks.
where?
It has
with
nothing.
the fucking camera,
it has
motherfucker.
nothing to do with their dicks, but they are studs, correct?
But you get dick
But it's
shots.
also
'cause-
all about their dick.
no, but you get dick shots because they do want to see dick shots, right?
No one wants to see.
Wait,
this
so
show.
amateur porn wasn't that far
That's
off?
what I said.
So,
Yeah,
so
wow.
Steve,
You gotta
Steve,
pay attention to what you're saying, dude.
so Steve, is it true that you as a camera person on this thing has to taste the jizz of the horse? Is that true?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my mistake. My mistake.
Sorry.
No, he just does it for fun.
Yeah, that's just a hobby.
So you're,
For me after.
so you're not a horse cum sommelier.
He's got a Yelp review for each horse.
That's stud had good calves.
stud
Cum would not recommend.
You see? This show ends with a nice little tight bow. Follow your dreams, people, and you can drink cum like my buddy Steve, right out of a horse's dick. Until next week, everybody, tell your friends. We would continue to listen to our program, and see you next Thursday. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. That was good.